Hello, my friend. Let me ask you something real quick. Has someone you love ever forgotten where they parked the car or asked you the same question again and again, all in the same hour? You might have laughed it off and said, well, that's just part of getting older. But what if those little moments are actually early warning signs of something more serious, something we can do something about if we catch it early? I'm here today because I truly care about you and the people you love. Vascular dementia is the second most common type of dementia. And here's the hard truth. Most families don't notice the early signs for months, even years. By the time they ask for help, a lot of precious time is already gone. Today, I want to share 8 warning signs with you. No big medical words, no confusing talk, just plain, everyday English. And I promise you, this information could make a real difference in someone's life. One quick thing before we start. I'm not a doctor, and this isn't medical advice. If any of these signs sound familiar, please talk to a doctor as soon as you can. Only a doctor can give a real diagnosis, but knowing what to watch for, that's something I can help you with.
Sign number 8. All of a sudden, they can't do things they've done forever. Let me paint a picture for you. Your husband has been making Sunday breakfast for 20 years. Same day, same routine, same recipe. Then one morning, you walk into the kitchen, and he's just standing there, looking confused. The eggs are burning, the toast is cold, and the coffee? He hasn't even started it. This isn't about forgetting your keys once in a while. We all do that. This is about something different. It's when a person suddenly can't do things they used to do without even thinking just a few months ago. Here's what may be going on. Tiny strokes can block blood flow to the part of the brain that helps with planning and organizing. And this is important. Unlike Alzheimer's, which usually changes things slowly, vascular dementia often happens in steps. One day they seem fine, and the next day something feels clearly wrong. What to watch for? If someone you love suddenly struggles with things they've always handled just fine, paying bills, keeping track of medicines, or following a simple recipe, don't ignore it. Write down what you're noticing and when it started, then call their doctor. Trust your gut. Early action can really matter.
Sign number 7. Getting confused when the sun goes down. Let me ask you, does this sound familiar? Your mom seems just fine during the day. She's sharp, she's herself. But then evening comes and something changes. She's not sure what day it is. She can't remember if she already ate dinner. Sometimes she even seems confused about where she is. Doctors call this sundowning. And no, it's not just being tired. Here's why this happens. Your brain needs a steady flow of blood to work the right way. With vascular dementia, damaged blood vessels can't bring enough oxygen to the brain. As the day goes on, everyone gets a little tired. But for someone with vascular dementia, that tiredness hits the brain much harder. And there's something else. When it gets dark, there are fewer visual clues around, less light, fewer shadows, fewer reminders of where you are. That can make confusion much worse. Here's the really important part. This evening confusion often shows up months before other signs become obvious. What you can do? For the next 2 weeks, keep it simple. Write down when the confusion starts, what time it is, and how long it lasts. That small notebook? It can give the doctor exactly the clues they need to understand what's really going on. Sign 6. Changes in how they walk. This one surprises a lot of people. You might be thinking, what does walking have to do with memory? A lot, actually. The way someone walks can tell us a lot about what's going on in their brain. There was a large study that followed over 4,000 adults aged 65 and older for 5 years. What they found was eye-opening. Changes in walking showed up 3 years before memory problems started. 3 years. So what kind of changes are we talking about? You might notice they take shorter steps without realizing it, walk more slowly, especially when they're talking, shuffle their feet instead of lifting them, pause or hesitate at curbs or doorways, seem less steady when they turn around. Why this matters: walking isn't automatic. It takes a lot of brain power. Your brain has to keep your balance, move your muscles, watch where you're going, and plan each step, all at the same time. When tiny strokes damage those parts of the brain, walking starts to change. Most families say, "Oh, it's just arthritis," or "they're just getting older." But here's the key thing to remember. If walking changes show up along with other signs we're talking about today, that's a red flag. Try this simple test. Watch how they walk while they're talking or distracted. Do they slow down more? Do they seem less steady? That's important because when blood flow to the brain is reduced, the brain can't handle two things at once, and that tells you a lot. Sign number 5. Can't find common words. Let's start with this. We all forget words sometimes. That part is normal, but there's a certain pattern that should make you pay attention. They start a sentence, then suddenly stop. You can see it on their face. They know exactly what they want to say, but the word just isn't there anymore. So they work around it. They might call a fork a spoon, or say something like the cold food box instead of the refrigerator. And this doesn't just happen once, it happens over and over in the same conversation. Here's what makes this different. With vascular dementia, these word problems can show up suddenly and change from day to day. One day they're fine, the next day they can't find very basic words. That's because tiny strokes affect blood flow in the brain in an uneven way. Here's something many families don't realize. The person knows their speech has changed. They feel embarrassed, so they start talking less, avoiding conversations, and families often think, "Oh, they're just depressed," or "they've become antisocial." What helps? Don't rush them. Don't finish their sentences for them. Just give them a moment. But do pay attention to how often this happens, and make sure it gets checked out. Catching this early can really matter. Sign 4. Losing track of conversations or TV shows. Does this sound familiar? Your dad is watching his favorite TV show, one he's followed for years. All of a sudden, he turns to you and asks, "Who's that person? What's going on?" You explain it. 5 minutes later, he asks the same questions again. This isn't a hearing problem. He hears the words just fine. The problem is holding information in the mind long enough to connect the dots. Here's what's really happening. Tiny strokes can damage something called working memory. Think of working memory like your brain's scratch pad. It holds information for a short time so you can use it and make sense of things. With vascular dementia, the brain hears the words but can't hang on to them long enough to understand the bigger picture. This is why family gatherings can feel overwhelming. Too many people talking, too much background noise, topics changing fast. The brain just can't filter it all anymore. What families often miss, they think their loved one is pulling away, becoming antisocial, or maybe depressed. But this is actually a medical symptom, and it's something a doctor needs to check. Noticing it early can make a real difference. Sign number 3. Trouble judging distances. This one shows up in ways that really surprise people. They reach for a cup and their hand stops too soon or goes right past it. They misjudge a curb and stumble. Parking the car suddenly feels harder. Stairs look confusing, like every step is the same height. And here's the important part. Their eyes are usually just fine. The problem is how the brain is making sense of what the eyes see. Why this can be dangerous? Most of the time, the person doesn't realize anything is wrong. They think they're reaching correctly. They think they're judging distance just fine. So they keep driving, they keep using stairs, they keep moving through tight spaces, and that's where the risk comes in. What to watch for? More little accidents, bumping into door frames, spilling drinks, trouble with puzzles or games they used to enjoy. These may seem small, but they're not. If you notice these changes, don't wait. Catching this early can help doctors prevent bigger problems and keep your loved ones safe.
Sign 2. Sudden emotional changes. This one can be really hard to watch. Your calm, steady mom suddenly starts crying over a TV commercial. Your dad, who never used to lose his temper, now gets angry over the smallest things. This isn't a personality change, and it's not just getting older. These are brain-related symptoms. When small strokes affect the parts of the brain that control emotions, the brain loses its ability to put the brakes on feelings. So a small annoyance turns into big anger. A sweet or touching moment turns into deep sadness. What's hardest for families, these emotional outbursts feel personal. When someone snaps at you, it hurts, but this isn't about you. It's something they can't fully control. What to watch for? Mood swings that don't match the situation, crying or laughing that goes on too long, sudden anger that shows up fast and fades fast, or the opposite, no emotional response when there should be one. If you notice these changes, take them seriously. They're important signs, and getting help early really matters. Sign 1. Sudden urinary urgency. This one surprises a lot of people. What does bladder control have to do with the brain, you might ask? The answer: everything. Someone suddenly feels like they have to go right now, with almost no warning. Sometimes they don't make it in time. But here's the kicker. Tests show no infection, no prostate issues, nothing physically wrong with the bladder itself. What's really happening? The frontal part of the brain is in charge of bladder signals. Tiny strokes can disrupt the connection between the brain and the bladder. Why doctors sometimes miss it? Someone reports urgency. They get tested for infection. Tests come back normal. Everyone thinks, oh, that's just part of getting older. But if bladder problems appear suddenly and there's no physical explanation, especially if you notice other signs we've talked about, insist on neurological testing. This could be an early clue to something serious, and catching it early really matters. What to do next if you notice multiple signs? First things first, don't panic. But also, don't wait. Here's a simple plan. Step 1. Write it down. Keep a notebook or notes on your phone. What exactly did you notice? When did it start? How often does it happen? Anything that makes it better or worse? This info is gold for doctors. Step 2. Call the doctor today. Don't wait for things to get worse. With vascular dementia, early action really matters. Step 3. Ask for complete testing. This might include brain imaging, cognitive tests, vascular health check. Don't let anyone brush it off as normal aging. You are your loved one's best advocate. Step 4. Focus on vascular health while you wait for the appointment. These steps improve blood flow to the brain and may slow further damage. Keep blood pressure under control, manage diabetes, stop smoking, eat heart-healthy foods, exercise regularly. Every little step counts. Early attention can really make a difference for someone you love. Closing. The most important thing to remember. Here's the bottom line. Vascular dementia isn't the same as Alzheimer's. The main problem is blood vessels, not just memory. The good news? If doctors catch and treat these blood vessel issues early, they can often prevent or slow down memory problems. That's why spotting these early signs really matters. Now, seeing 1 or 2 signs doesn't automatically mean vascular dementia. Lots of things can look similar. But recognizing the warning signs and getting evaluated early can literally save someone's brain function and quality of life. You're not alone in this. If this video helped you, share it with someone who needs it. Knowledge only works if you act on it. Take care of yourself and take care of the people you love. If you noticed multiple signs today, make that doctor's appointment. Your loved one's brain health is absolutely worth protecting.